That's so good. So I was thinking about this. Ted and I were talking a little bit ago today, and this is a topic shift, if that's all right.
Let's do it.
Have you ever been scammed, or have you ever associated with and partners with, had anybody in your life where you thought, man, they're just a solid person, they're great, you're cheering for them, and you do that a lot. You give out accolades to people that are like, this guy's awesome, and I do the same thing. Ted does too. Megan, I'm not sure. She seems kind of salty.
I mean, I hired my business coach specifically on the accolades he gave out to Jason Dries.
Yeah. So, but have you ever been wrong about somebody? I'm curious about that. I definitely have, and this isn't something that gets talked about a lot. I mean, usually it's all the rah stuff.
Yeah, it's a good question. Not severely. I mean, I hired some woman to help run first deal, and it's just going down the toilet.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, I mean, the one that comes to mind, I mean, I hired a contractor once. I paid him $5,000 for windows, and then for the down payment on windows, and he took the money and ran. It just like never did it. But I found out where he lived. He had a house. He owned a house. And so I put a lien on his house, his own personal house. And then when he tried to sell it 5 years later, I got paid back plus interest.
Oh, so that was nice.
Yeah, that was cool.
Was that satisfying?
That was so sad. You know what? I was so good to him too. Like let me pat myself on the back here and tell you how much of a saint I am. Because here's what happened, right? I put the lien for $5,000. In the lien, I don't know. I don't even know if you're supposed to do this or if I did it wrong, but I didn't put what the interest was. I just said plus interest, I think. And so like the lady calls me one day out of the blue, title company. She says, hi, Mr. Turner, I'm trying to close a transaction here for this guy who sold his house. It says here that he owes you some money and that you need to pay it off. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And she's like, well, how much was it for? It says $5,000. Is that right? And I said, yes. And she goes, and she literally, this was her tone. How much do you want? That's what she said. And I was like, excuse me? And she goes, how much do you want? It's not written here. I was like, I can just name a number. She goes, you can name a number, anything you want. And I'm like, that's first of all, ridiculous that works that way. And so anyway, I ended up saying 7,000. And I figured that was about right for interest. So I could have taken that guy so much more. I'm a good person. Despite what people think, I'm a good person.
Note to self, insert clause that says plus interest.
That's the golden nugget for the day, right there.
Just right, blanket plus interest. And then you can fill it in the blank later, depending on how pissed you are.
That's great. Okay, here's a twist on the question then. So this is, I get it, but have you ever had anybody on the BP podcast that ended up being a pretty shady character? I'm not asking you to name names unless you want to, but like, how did you guys handle that?
Yeah, it's happened a few times. I mean, one guy, I met him at a meetup in Seattle. It seemed super cool. Everyone was like, oh, this guy's the best. He's so cool. And he literally just took everyone's money. He raised a bunch of money and then just fled the country with it and just like retired. Like he took like, I don't know, it was like $3 million or something wild like that. And he just left. Wow. And he just moved back to, I don't know, it was like Taiwan or Mongolia. I don't know, somewhere else that he was originally from. And he just moved back there and probably is living like a king right now. Like, what are you going to do about it? It's just like, so anyway, I took his episode. When that happens, we just take people's episodes down.
Yeah.
Probably happened 4 or 5 times. People would just, take the episode down.
This reminds me of like it was like my first year taking over the local RIA, and we had a guy come in. I like, oh, he's got a great story.
Yep.
And then like he secretly put a booth in the back and was like raising money for coaching. Yeah. And all of a sudden he's like getting $20,000 per person for coaching in the back, and people think my name's associated with it. Yep. Like no. And then I like had to write it into my agreement. If you speak at our group, you cannot sell anything.
Yeah, that's good because
no, not at all.
Megan, has it ever happened to you? Have you ever been scammed by a contractor or
bamboozled?
So many times. It kind of comes with the territory, I think. So on my first deal, I hired a contractor long distance, and I was paying him on draw schedule. I'd send him like 4/6 of the whole entire amount. And every time he would take a picture of one area. So like he would take a picture of one room and say the interior paint was done. And then I would send him the draw for that. And he would take a picture of just the front of the house and say the exterior paint was done, but really the other 3 sides weren't painted yet. And I would send him the money for that. And so I ended up going out, checking up on him, and realizing that none of what he said was done. And it worked out fine. I got him to finish it. That's fine.
And it made for good content.
It did. Yeah.
It's all for the content.
Still paying off.
It's all for the gram. Yeah, for the gram.
One thing I was thinking about when I was preparing for this was the lives that you impact. And you can think about that on a national scale. You're like, hey, I've had 100 million plus downloads. But if you think about like really honing in on, okay, so we're here in Omaha, Nebraska, where we're recording, and we could just literally count over and over the amount of people that have been personally impacted you. And I'm just talking about the people in the room first off. But then it was like Ryan Miller, it was Colin Schwartz. It was out of Lincoln.
Chad Beeman.
Chad Beeman.
Owen Dashna.
Grant Franacki.
Frankie.
Frankie.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can sit here and name 10 plus people just in this, 50-mile radius, is Omaha just like a one-off where you have,
It is.
a ton of contacts? Or, I mean, are you just literally making so many connections around the country where you're just constantly like taking these one-on-one meetups and impacting people's lives? I mean, it's really remarkable, to be honest with you.
There probably is somewhat of a hub there. I don't know. Maybe just because, 3 guys in the 50 are all from that area out of the 50 guys. It sounds really good when things are going good, though. Like, I always like to joke, like, people are like, oh my gosh, you changed my life. I'm like, cool, in a good way or bad way. Like, it could go either way, right? Like, hey, get into real estate. It'll be great for you. And then they lose everything. And it's like, So, as the market's been going up and up and up for the last 10 years, I've gotten, my ego has been stroked many times. And it feels really good. And then now that the market's going down in a lot of areas, I'm hearing a lot more of, people aren't not mean to me, but definitely people are struggling right now. So it's, was it really me that did it? Or was it just the fact that they took action? I just happened to be part of their story. I think that's more common. I've said that to people like, oh my gosh, you changed my life. And it's true, but hundreds of people change your life all the time. Mm-hmm. So I try not to feed into that too much because I wrote some books and I was on a podcast and I asked good questions. It's not like that actually changed their life. I mean, think about it this way. It's like the number of people who have actually probably bought properties that actually listened to me and then found financial freedom. I don't even know, like call it 100,000. That's probably even overly generous. How many people have listened to me though? Like 100 million. And so therefore my success rate is probably like 0.1% in reality, which means that it's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing I'm doing. It's just like those people would have succeeded anyway. I just happened to be the conduit in which they got a little bit further along. So,
well, it sounds like with all these people visiting in Maui and other places that you're due for an Omaha trip anytime soon, or Lincoln.
You know what? I keep trying to come, and every time Megan's like, "Don't come to Omaha. Nobody wants you here. It's just you'll ruin the state. Just leave." Yeah. And so I just don't come.
Do you remember where you were the first time you got recognized?
I do. I have a great story on that one. I was with my in-laws. Which is the best place to get recognized. The first time I think they were like, oh, maybe he is okay.
You finally sold him on.
Yeah, I finally sold him. I was on vacation in Oahu, and there's a drive called Tantalus. If anybody's been on Oahu or you're going there, go do that drive. It's beautiful. Go snake up this huge thing, get to the very top of this massive hill or mountain. And it's like all of like Waikiki Beach and the whole city of Honolulu, and the sun was going down and we're sitting there watching it. And yeah, some couple was like, hey, aren't you that guy from that podcast? And that I felt so cool that day. But my favorite story of getting recognized is actually I was on top of another mountain story. I was on top of a mountain in Colorado climbing a 14er with Josh Dorkin early on. And Josh Dorkin, founder of Bigger Pockets, we were on the podcast together, and we were just like BSing the way that we do because we're actually friends and we actually BS and talk to each other. And somebody whips around. They're like, was that Josh and Brandon? And they recognize us purely from our banter and our voice. And so I thought that was a good day too. They on top of a mountain. So
it's so funny. I've gotten recognized one time from my voice and like the in a Target, the aisle next to me. Okay, so this lady hears me probably yelling at my kids or something. And she's like, is that the Tatty investor? And my mom was there and she's
That's
like,
so funny.
what the heck? I'm like, yeah, I'm famous now. I can't smack my kids around in public anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Okay. So this is the thing with being recognized is like, I get DMs from people almost, maybe not daily, but at least several times a week that say, I saw you XYZ place. I saw you at line at Starbucks. I saw you at the mall. I saw you ever. And I didn't want to bug you, so I didn't say anything, which tells me that for all the people that do recognize me, which happens a decent amount, there are more people that didn't say anything. So in other words, they have seen me yelling at my kids and picking my nose and like crying outside of a, whatever, a H&M because they won't give me a refund. They've seen it all. And that never happened. You gotta watch yourself. People have seen me apparently in bad spots. So
I had that
Whatever.
happen once in the elevator. I was going to a meetup event, and it's going up the elevator, and the lady goes, "Isn't that the guy that you listen to all on your podcast all the time?" And then he turned beet red.
The guy did.
Yes,
That's funny.
And then he's been my go-to electrician or plumber ever since.
This was funny. So about when was this? Probably we had maybe 50 episodes that we'd done on the podcast, and I was in Lowe's. I was just like, I was in sweats and like I hadn't shaved in 3 days, probably hadn't showered, and I'm just like, oh God, I'm looking for something, frustrated. I walk by somebody and he goes, "I like your podcast." You're like super close. And I was like, thanks. That was the first time, and I was just like, what the hell? So fast forward to about 3-4 weeks ago, we interviewed him on the podcast. It was Jeff Hansen. Yeah. It was. I was like, I had no idea who he was at all, and he's just like gives me one of those like, "What's up?" And yeah, so that was weird. But I don't have a beard or anything, so it makes me a little less recognizable.
I grew the beard. I literally grew it, so it would be a brand. Like this was a deliberate choice because I had a small ego and I needed a bigger one. So I thought, how do I get a bigger ego? Grow a big beard, let people recognize me.
Speaking of beards, do you still have Beardy Brew?
I do. Beardy Brew Coffee, beardybrew.com. It's the best coffee you'll ever drink. I'm not kidding. It's phenomenal. It's
a long time for that.
it's the only coffee with a real piece of beard hair in every cup.
How? Okay, I gotta ask.
It's a charity, by the way. Beardy Brew exists. Yeah, it exists to support the foster care group, one of the foster care groups here on Maui. So that's why we do it. It's fun,
cool. Is it Kona coffee? Like,
It's a Maui blend. So it's got Maui coffee plus a couple other things, like Guatemala and Nicaragua, I think it is. Anyway, but what I did is I literally just went to the, like, there's like coffee shops and coffee people, and then there's like coffee people. Like they all have mustaches, even the women, and like they all like wear
like cigar smokers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get the vibe, right? Like the real coffee people. I went to the most coffee people I could find on Maui. They win all the awards. They've won like the championships and the brewing this and that. And I just white labeled their best selling stuff. And so the stuff that they're most famous for, Beardy Brew is just white labeled that, which is why it doesn't make a lot of money because they're really expensive. But yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So what is okay? You're going on a trip to Maui randomly, right? So, and Megan, this is maybe a question for you. How expensive is it to exist in Maui? Like
to live or vacation?
Like, what do you think you spend just to live there? Do you have any idea on, and now leave out the extravagances.
Yeah.
What does it cost a day in the life of Brandon Turner? Or a year in the life of Brandon Turner. You add it all up. What do you think the bill is?
Versus like Minnesota?
Yeah. Maybe a way to answer that would be like, it would be very hard to live in Maui under $250,000 a year. Like if you make less than $250,000 a year, it'd be tough. I'm not saying you can't do it. You can do it. It'd be tough. I mean, you're paying $5,000 to $10,000 for your rent. I mean, groceries are probably on average double about over the course of a month, maybe that you'd pay if you were, in the Midwest. Eating out is probably triple of what you pay in the Midwest. When you're paying $28 for a Mai Tai at Monkey Pod, it's like, it's not that bad, but some places are that bad. Mama's is that bad. Anyway, so you spend a lot more there. On the other side, though, you don't have entertainment costs, right? Like there is no concert to go to. You don't go hang out at the club, and like you literally go to the beach and it's free, and you go surfing and that's free. So you do save some money on the entertainment side. And Costco make things cheaper, but I'm still spending $2,000 a month minimum at Costco for groceries.
There's no way that you know that number. Dude, okay. Hold on. First of all,
fact checker.
Love you to death, Brandon, but
I do know that number.
Way that you look at the total when you buy your groceries. First of all, secondly, I was spending at least $4,000 a month on food.
No,
2,000 is probably.
I do the grocery shopping for the most part, and I think $2,000 is probably right. You think it's more than that? Now I have no idea. I think I'm probably right.
There's no way that you know that number. But
Megan thinks that I'm not very good with numbers, and she makes fun of me for that from time to time, like every day. But you know what?
I
Doesn't matter.
literally told them that before we started. I'm like, yeah, he'll be like, oh, I don't know. I think it's like 800,000. And I'm like, it's 1.2 million. You're like, same thing.
Same
Like,
thing.
that's literally $600,000 difference.
That was literally a soundbite like 5 minutes before we hit record because I was Ted made some ridiculous statement and then walked out of the room. And I go, the thing about Ted is
That's like a mic drop moment.
He will give you something like his number on something, and it's within a range, and it's always the high end of whatever range that is. That is his number. So
It works.
yeah, that's funny. So, okay, Brandon, I've got a question for you that I was curious about. So you've been well known for, you started in single family, got into multifamily, got into mobile home parks. You've done a whole bunch of different asset classes and different things. What do you right now make the most active income from? Is it real estate, or is it, like doing the other things like speaking and royalties from the books, or random checks that show up in your mailbox from companies that have sold?
It is that. No, my money is, I make money from so many different places that it's a little bit hard to track sometimes. But yeah, I would say if I had to guess, I mean, I honestly don't even know this. I'm going to say this, and then I'm like, Megan's going to laugh at this. I would probably guess the most of my money comes from First Deal, but I actually don't know if First Deal is actually making any money. Megan's got to figure that one out. So if I had to guess, the thing is, like, I read a book recently by a guy who's a billionaire or possibly a billionaire, a guy named Felix something or other. It's called How to Get Rich. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek book about wealth building. It's pretty decent. But he makes a point in there. He said, any billionaire who tells you their net worth isn't a billionaire. Or basically he said like billionaires don't know their net worth, even within like a massive range. He goes, I'm worth somewhere between 500 million and 3 billion, and I don't know. He's like, and anybody tells you that they do know is just lying to you, or they're not actually that rich. And not that I'm anywhere close to that rich, but what I mean by that is I understand what he means. Cause like, I mean, for example, First Deal, we sell a $6,000 membership. We pay the sales guys, we pay somebody else. At the end of the day, I clear $3,000. But now I got to pay coaches for the next 12 months on that person. And that costs money to fulfill over time. Did I actually make any money, or did I make $3,000? Now multiply that times 100. We're getting close to 100 people a month joining. Am I making 300,000 a month, or am I making no money? I'm not really sure. We're working on that right now. So you extrapolate that across 12, I have 13 companies right now. So I have 13 businesses, and all of them are in various stages of that. So it's a little complicated. That said, I would put my money on probably that, because I don't make money from Better Life. The 50 I don't really make money from. That's mostly we just spend it on ridiculous amounts of wine and food for all the cool guys that are there, because we can do that because we have no women to yell at us. It's great. Yeah. And then I just get random checks from random things that I did years ago. Like we had an apartment complex go full cycle. So we sold one of our apartment complexes. It was like 3 apartments. And I just randomly get some nice big old check from both what I invested. I got my money back plus a big return. And then I got my GP component. And I'm like, oh, I can live on that for a while. So like you just put a lot out there over the course of a decade of a career, and it just keeps coming back. And it seems to work out okay.
You know you made it when you come home to your hometown and you see a sign outside the border and it says, "Home of Brandon Turner."
Exactly. That's what we need. That's what we need. I'm going to see if they'll put that up in North Branch, Minnesota. Home of Brandon Turner.
Okay, this actually dovetails pretty nicely, because I wanted to ask you. So I listened to the Drunk Real Estate podcast. I don't know if you catch any of those episodes with Jay Scott and Mauricio Raould and those guys.
I have not listened to more than the clips on social media.
And
that's only because I'm super competitive and I don't want them to get one more download. So.
Totally understand. And I've got a great question. I have a great question at the end that I'm going to ask you about this in particular. So what are some things that you've invested in outside of real estate that are maybe not many people know about?
Oh, very little. I'm such all my eggs in one basket, guard that basket well kind of a guy. I have 10 grand I put into Bitcoin that's now worth like 20, which is cool. I bought it at a halfway decent time. I invested in SpaceX, which is kind of cool. Fairly early on. I have a friend who's really good friends with Elon Musk. It's not even a public company, but I have a friend who's friends with Elon. And so he got me into a SpaceX early on investment, which is pretty cool. It's not paying me right now. I make nothing off of it, but supposedly, it could go, Elon's just taking over the world, and like with the Starlink stuff that's going on and like Tesla, anyway, it's wild. So Yeah, Starlink. I'm in a bunch of not a bunch. I'm in a few syndications, most of which are not going well, like of other people. So I've invested in a bunch of my friends' deals, and it's just a rough time to be in multifamily right now. So a lot of those are not doing well. Some of them will survive. Some I'll probably lose my entire investment on. And that's the name of the game. But
You should use your resources and get Elon on your podcast.
dude, it's like I don't want to ask my buddy who like it's like one of those like weird things. Like, hey, will you ask your friend to come on my little podcast? Like,
Hey,
I did that.
we reached out to Megan.
Yeah.
Hello.
Megan's like, I'll do it.
It totally works. I'll do it. I'll ask Elon for you.
Yeah, we're just like I'm like 2 steps removed, but like it's weird enough. So I have not pushed it yet. I would love to have Elon though. So Elon, if you're listening, I know you're a big fan of the show, Elon. Please come on my podcast, not theirs.
Okay, this is hot take time. What is your take on Doge?
Like the government efficiency
Yes.
or the Bitcoin or the
Okay, I realize this is very controversial.
Hey guys, this is Ted with the Kash Dash Show. Please like and subscribe to our podcast. I gotta get back to this Rio group. Everybody say hi.